When I was a child, I lived with my grandmother. I remember being about 5 years old, watching her pour boiling water down the kitchen drain. Every single time, without fail, she would say Bismillah in the name of God. One day I asked her, "Why do you say that, Grandma?" Well, the obvious answer would be, "Well, we're Muslim and we begin everything with the name of God." My grandma never gave simple answers. She always gave a story. Hello, and welcome to Storytellers and Alchemists, where we re enchant the world one story at a time. I am Amira, and today I will tell you about those genies in the drainpipes. Well, when I asked my grandma, "Why are you saying Bismillah in the name of God every time you pour boiling water down the drain?" she said, "You see, sweetheart, deep down those drains live mighty genies, and their little ones like to play near the surface. If you pour boiling water without warning, you might burn them, and their king will come looking for revenge. But when you say Bismillah, they scatter. They fear God's name. That's in this way you don't hurt them and they don't hurt you." Well, now, 50 years later, I say Bismillah in the name of God before I begin anything. Sometimes I forget, I'm human, but I never forget to say Bismillah when I pour boiling water down the drain, just in case. But as I grew up, with time I realized that this story was never about just remembering God. It was much deeper than that. It quietly shaped the world I live in. It gave me a sense that reality is larger than what we see, what we hear, what we touch, that there are other unseen dimensions woven into ordinary life. Grandma's tale carved in me a cosmology, a worldview. I did not analyze the story or rationalize it. I was just 5 years old. I just absorbed it. It made sense to my tiny little mind at the time. And it still makes sense today in the weirdest type of way. This is the power of story, and this is why we need stories. Stories build the world inside which we live, a worldview that shape how we behave and react and make everyday choices. The stories we inherit around the kitchen table, in places of worship, through rituals or habits, slowly form our sense of what is real, what is possible, what is dangerous, what is sacred. They shape our fears, our longings, our imagination. But today, the stories shaping us rarely come from grandmother tales. They are broadcast by global media, entertainment industry, algorithms that know exactly what will keep us scrolling. Some of these stories are beautiful and sacred in their own way, but many are fragmented, urgent, and polarizing. They blur the line between truth and spectacle, between depth and distraction, between what is meaningful and what is merely loud. The stories we are told do not merely entertain us, they shape our belief. In Arabic, the word for belief is i'tiqad. Its root meaning is to tie a knot or seal a contract. Every story we encounter, whether spoken, watched, or scrolled past, or even experienced, ties a small knot, one loop at a time. A headline, a repeated phrase, an image, a tone of voice, each one leaves a mark. Over time, those knots form a tapestry, and that tapestry becomes the ground we walk on, the contract we live by. The story shapes how we understand the world, how we see ourselves, how we interpret others. It shapes how or what feels normal for us, what feels threatening, what feels desirable, what feels possible. And most of the time, we don't even realize we are tying those knots. Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into a room, you are totally fine, having a good day, but everyone in the room is anxious, and 5 minutes later, you find yourself anxious as well? No one explained what is going on, what is the story. No one persuaded you or even talked to you. You simply stepped into the story and absorbed the emotional climate. That's called priming. The atmosphere shapes you before you have a chance to think about it. Malcolm Gladwell uses this word priming to describe how subtle cues influence behavior without our awareness. When we are repeatedly exposed to stress, urgency, fear, hostility, even indirectly, our nervous system registers a message: be alert, be defensive, something is wrong around you. Tiny continuous messages shape us far more than one loud declaration because they pass below our defense system, below our rational mind. It's like a virus in the air. You don't see it, but you begin to breathe differently. So the question becomes, are we helpless before these stories? And the answer, of course, not. The antidote is awareness, embodied awareness. Most of us live on autopilot, moving through routines, reacting more than intentionally choosing. But when we slow down, even briefly, we interrupt this cycle. We notice the reflection of sunlight on the pavement, we savor the taste of our food. We really enjoy it. We feel our feet on wet grass in the summer and hear the crunch of snow beneath our boots on the winter morning. These are not mere relaxation or sentimental gestures. They are acts of narrative agency. They are the threads we choose, the knots we consciously tie. Awareness allows us to decide which story we internalize and which ones we refuse. It is a tool by which some old stories loosen their grip and we begin intentionally untying some of those knots as something deeper asks to be seen. And this is why we need stories. Until we meet again, may the stories you encounter guide you back to the quiet wisdom within.